Hi guys, welcome to the last of the animal tissues that we need to do, and that is part of the grade 10 work you need to do. And this is the nerve tissue, the one that sends all the instructions around the body telling us how to use the rest of our tissues. Okay, we have to know the different types of the nerve tissue and the functions. Where do you find it? What does it look like? What's its function? Right, let's start. Basic structure of a neuron. Now, neuron is a nerve cell, and we are made up of lots of nerve cells that are neurons. And neurons are your instruction units that move the electrical impulses from where they initially start to where they're going, and then they move them from one neuron to the next, to the next, to the next. And the basic structure of a neuron is incredibly important because if you get it now, you'll understand most of what I'm going to explain to you when you get to matric. Remember, we're still doing this 3-year degree called matric. Okay, it sends messages in the form of electrical impulses from the one part of the body to the other. And you have different neurons depending on where it goes. It's like a two-way double highway. Incoming traffic never crashes into outgoing traffic. So the neurons picking up the information that you're burning your finger will run across into your central nervous system, and it will give the information to your brain. Your brain will then send a message back down a different pathway to lift your finger up. But what do these little messengers look like? They have a top part called the dendrite. They have the axon, here's your axon, this whole purple thing is an axon. Now, important, the impulse always goes from your dendrite that picks up the information in this way. So your dendrites are connected to your axons. And then from here, it jumps across to the next neuron. Cell body is the top bit. This is usually beautifully designed and pictured in your textbook. Okay, so make sure you draw yourself a neuron and you label a neuron. Okay, here you have your axon. Now, good way of thinking of it. Let's start. Think hot dog. Your axon is your sausage. So you think of a boerewors roll, much easier than a sausage. Long boerewors roll. And the information is running from the left-hand side, which would be your dendrites, to your axon, which is your right-hand side, through your boerewors roll. You've got that. And round this boerewors roll, you've put lots of bread rolls. Okay, so you've got the bread roll and another bread roll and another bread roll and another bread roll. And this bread roll effectively is called your Schwann cells. These are Schwann cells, probably Mr. Schwann that found them. And how it actually works and the reason for them, they have outside the bread roll, outside the Schwann cell, they actually have something called a myelin sheath, which covers them on the outside. But the bread roll is not just a bread roll. They've taken the dough, rolled it out, and then put it around the sausage and wrapped it around the sausage. So if you had to cut the sausage through, you will see the bread roll is sort of twisted like almost a Chelsea bun around the bread roll. So your Schwann cell is got layers of cells around it. All right. So now you have your axon running through, which is your hamburger roll, and you have your bread rolls, which are rolled over it, which are called your Schwann cells. Between one bread roll and another one, you have something called the node of Ranvier. It says nodes because there's more than one, but the node of Ranvier. Probably another fellow who found it. But there's method in the madness here because it's squashed on your bread rolls as they go along, and the nerve impulse moves inside your sausage roll, inside the axon. But as it goes from one bread roll to the next bread roll, it actually speeds up because now it's been squashed. So it runs at a certain speed. And then as it escapes, it speeds up and then hits the next bread roll at the highest speed. And as it goes along, the longer the nerve is, the faster the nerve impulse will travel. The longest nerve we have literally goes from the top of our brains, from our foramen magnum, where the vertebrate hits your brain, to the bottom, to your coccyx at the bottom. It's almost a meter long, depending on the height of the person. And boy, does it move, because it needs to get all the nerves and all the 33 different nerves that join up to your spinal column, all have to go up and send the message along. So your basic structure of a neuron, you've got your dendrite, you've got your axon, and you have your axon is long. It runs along here and it has little terminal points. You have your Schwann cell, your bread roll. Don't write bread roll. And with the myelin sheath, which is a covering, which keeps the impulse inside. And when the myelin sheath breaks and it gives you a problem, then you get multiple sclerosis, which means the information, it's almost like it sparks out. And that's the problem. When you have Parkinson's or something, the problem is here. The information doesn't get through from one to the other. But when you have multiple sclerosis, the problem is with your myelin sheath. It's literally like when you have an electric cord and you haven't put any tape around it, the electricity can cause a spark and all the information just carried along. All right, and we're still stuck on this one slide, but you've learned so much. Right, so we know the difference here is the road of Ranvier. We have our Schwann cells covered with a myelin sheath, and then we go and look at the different types of nervous tissue. Remember, I mentioned some go in, some go out, and then you have the connective bit in the middle. So here we have a motor neuron. I'm not going to do the great deal that you need in grade 10 or grade 11 or 12, but you are doing this 3-year course. You will get to know it. You'll be so good at it. Watch. Right. You've got information coming in. It's a sensory neuron. Sensory neuron. Sensory neuron is when the information is sensed. Your 5 senses, you hear it, you smell it, you see it, you touch it, you feel it, you taste it. That information needs to be relayed to the brain so that the brain can tell you what to do with the information. So if you see something coming, it's a sensory neuron that will take it from the outside into your body, where it will be processed by the central nervous system to give a reaction, which will then be given to the motor neuron, which will cause the motor reaction. 2 different neurons, different paths. Sensory neuron picks it up, runs it across through to your spinal cord, where you have an interneuron, which relays the impulse from the sensory to your motor neuron, but it actually goes up through the central nervous system, comes down, and then goes into the motor neuron, where it goes out and makes the reaction take place. So the 2 main neurons you will have is, now they've sort of cut it off here, you have lots of dendrites. You have your information here are your dendrites. Information comes in and it gets carried by the axon terminals to the next one. And this will be eventually, these axons would stop in a muscle cell. So these dendrites will come from your interneuron, and the muscle will come, and these axon terminals will be inside a muscle cell, which will make the muscle, as we did in the previous section, contract and pull your hand up to stop it from touching the flame. So your axon terminals are inside the muscle. Usually it is a muscle or a gland to release adrenaline or something. Or if it's a muscle to close your eye, if you suddenly, or a pupil, if the sun's too bright. So it's your axons would be inside the muscle to make the muscle react. your sensory neuron, these terminals will be on their way to your central nervous system. These little dendrites would be inside your sensory terminals of your fingers, inside your rods and cones in your eyes, would be inside your cochlea of your ears. That's where you will pick up the information, which will then be relayed by the optic nerve or the sensory nerves, and all of those into your central nervous system. So we have 3 different types of nerves. And here we have, it shows you that the interneuron is a bipolar. It needs to get the sensory and the motor, and it can carry the information across. The unipolar is your sensory neuron. It's very specific. It picks up every little bit. You've got millions of little sensory points everywhere over your body. Because what does your body do? Your body needs to survive. In order to survive, it needs to have every single thing active. If something is touching a part of your finger that can injure the cell, it's going to cause injury to the whole body. So it has an incredible amount of soldiers out there having to be aware of anything that could damage or be harmful to the body. So it's unipolar. It has only one pole, one section in it to make sure that every single thing is contained to looking after one specific area. Motor neuron has lots of dendrites. So it's picking up the information that it's getting, and it needs to pull up your hand. So you have 3 basic types of neurons, and here I've shown you the different sizes. Now, if we go to the sensory neuron, just a summary of it, it's from external to internal, external, internal. It relays the chemical impulse from the receptor to the central nervous system. Right, sensory, please write this all in your book. Check and see if your textbook, usually it's very good in the textbooks. Sensory, outside, relays it through, in. And that is from external to internal. Your motor neuron, opposite way. It relays it from the central nervous system to your muscles, from internal to external. And there's your motor neuron. It goes out. And then your interneuron, as I discussed, it relays it. It's the sensory neuron in the brain to the motor neuron. It's an internal transfer neuron. Right. So now we have done basically the types of tissues you find in an animal cell. You have your epithelial, you've got your connective, you've got your muscle, and you have your nerve. Now we can make this body work. Now we can go on and turn it into more different parts. All right, so make sure you understand all of this. Hope you now understand how the plant tissues are put together, how the animal tissues are put together, and I'll see you in the next section. Thank you so much for being and staying with me. Okay, bye.